Hello friends, welcome you all. Good morning. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the role of NBFCs in economic development or the role of NBFCs in the economy. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss regulatory bodies for NBFCs in India, who regulate NBFCs in India. So we can make the T diagram. Before that, we have discussed in the previous some lectures. Non-banking financial company is a company registered under Act 1959 and engage in business of loans, advances, and acquisitions of share stock bonds, debentures, and securities issued by government or local authority. So, also with that, the NBFCs deals with leasing, hire purchase, insurance business, chit funds, etc. So the principal business should not be agricultural activity, industrial activity, purchase or sale of any goods other than securities, or providing any services, and sale purchase construction of immovable property. So we have discussed this, what is NBFC actually. So I'm not going to discuss detail that. This is the T diagram, where we can see the we can categorize that how NBFCs are regulated. The first category is NBFC registered with RBI. Before that, the company is registered under Section 3 of the Companies Act 1956. So the NBFCs have to register first under Section 3 of Companies Act 1956. This is the first requirement. We can categorize that is NBFC registered with RBI. That is first category. RBI regulate it, supervise it, and surveillance and enforcement under RBI. This is the first category of NBFCs. The second category is housing finance institutions. So wherever housing finance institutions are there under NBFCs, National Housing Bank, the authority which regulates, supervise, and surveillance these institutions. Then if there is a merchant banking company, then venture capital fund companies, stock broking, collective investment schemes, then SEBI regulate it. So Security and Exchange Board of India regulate these merchant banking, venture capital company, then stock broking companies. So these come under the capital market, and the SEBI is the capital market regulator. So obviously SEBI regulate all these NBFCs. Then if there are Nidhi companies, mutual benefit companies, then Ministry of Corporate Affairs regulate all these companies. Then chit fund companies, state government of that particular state supervise, regulate it. Then insurance company, if insurance company is there, then Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, that is IRDA, regulate these NBFCs which come under insurance companies. The third category is non-banking, non-financial companies. These are non-banking and non-financial companies. So the regulation, supervision, and surveillance is under the Companies Act 1956. So who is the regulator? Ministry of Corporate Affairs is the regulator, and enforcement agencies, the state government. So these are the three categories we can make. Let us discuss one by one. First, registration of NBFCs. So our registration of NBFCs required. The business of NBFCs can be started, commence, or carried out when only after obtaining a certificate of registration from the RBI. So RBI, they have to take the certificate from the Reserve Bank of India. Then net own fund should be of 25 lakhs before 1999, but now 2 crores since April 2019. So after 1999, NBFCs have to maintain their net own fund 2 crores. Next requirement is to avoid the problem of dual regulation. Certain NBFCs, certain categories of NBFCs which are regulated by other regulators are exempted from the requirement of registration with RBI. So there was a dual problem of regulation. Means dual problem means the two regulatory authorities are regulating one type of NBFCs. For example, if the NBFC, insurance NBFC, have to take a registration from Reserve Bank of India and IRDA also, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. But these type of NBFCs which are not required to take the certificate of registration from RBI, because they have to take it from the regulatory authority which is allotted for them. That is, suppose there is a merchant bank, then they have to take certificate from SEBI. Next is venture capital fund, merchant banking companies, stock broking companies registered with SEBI. So we have discussed this. Insurance company holding a valid certificate of registration issued by IRDA. So insurance company have to take registration certificate from IRDA. Then venture capital fund, merchant banking companies, stock broking companies have to register with SEBI. Nidhi companies as notified under the Companies Act 1956. Chit fund companies as defined in Chit Fund Act 1982. So there is a separate Chit Fund Act for chit fund companies. What is chit fund? Chit fund is the collection of small amount of saving from public or people with attractive expectation of return. So these chit fund companies gives the promise or shows the attractive return and attract small savings, and these companies are some companies had got problem and failed. So Sharda, a cheat fund company in the West Bengal, we have experienced that. So these companies registered or regulated by Chit Fund Act 1982 separately. Then housing finance companies regulated by National Housing Bank, stock exchange or mutual benefit companies which are governed by SEBI. These sectoral regulator regulate respective entities, and RBI does not regulate all the NBFCs. So Reserve Bank of India does not regulate all NBFCs. According to the category of NBFC, there is a separate regulator. Now let us discuss power of RBI over NBFCs. What are the powers with RBI? The Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 have given these power to Reserve Bank of India to register these NBFCs, to formulate policy, issue directions, inspect these. Inspections can be done by Reserve Bank of India under RBI Act 1934. Then regulate these NBFCs, supervise these NBFCs, and exercise surveillance over these NBFCs. So Reserve Bank of India got the power from in Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. The Reserve Bank can penalize NBFCs for violating the provisions of RBI Act or the directions or order issues by RBI under the RBI Act. So Reserve Bank of India can penalize, even can issue directions or can issue orders to these NBFCs. So Reserve Bank of India have the powers to control NBFCs, but the Reserve Bank of India cannot control as strict as Reserve Bank control banks, general bank, commercial banks, because the reserve ratios are not compulsory for these NBFCs like bank. So, but Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 given the various powers to issue direction, inspect, regulate, and supervise these NBFCs. Again, there is a systematically important NBFCs and systematically non-important NBFCs are also there. So those who have the more than 500 crore of business, then these can be categorized as systematically important NBFCs. So Reserve Bank of India again have a different powers according to the categorization of NBFCs. The penal action, that is penalty action, can also result in RBI cancelling the certificate of registration issued to the NBFCs. So RBI can even cancel the certificate of registration. Like Reserve Bank of India have the powers to cancel the license of bank. Like that, Reserve Bank of India have the powers to cancel certificate of registration of these NBFCs. Then can prohibit them from accepting deposits also. So Reserve Bank of India can prohibit them or prevent them from accepting deposit from the public, etc. So vast powers are given by RBI Act 1934 to the Reserve Bank of India to regulate NBFCs. Then it is illegal for any financial entity to make a false claim of being regulated by the Reserve Bank to mislead the public to collect deposits. So any it is illegal to make the false claims that we will give you the five times more returns or something like this. So that is illegal. The false claim uh, giving to the public and collecting or to attract more deposit, it is illegal according to Reserve Bank of India. Or to mislead public to collect deposit, it is illegal. So Reserve Bank of India can take action. So next is they will be liable for penal action under the Indian Penal Code in such a scenario. So if these companies are doing illegal things or misleading the public to collect deposit or claiming something false or giving some exacerbated promises of return, then these NBFCs will be liable for penal action under the Indian Penal Code in such a scenario. NBFCs which are accepting deposit have similar norms related to SLR, CRAR norms that are applicable to bank. So NBFCs which accept deposits are treated as like a bank. So they have to follow the norms of SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio. Statutory liquidity ratio means it is suppose the NBFC have 100 rupee deposit, and if SLR given by Reserve Bank of India is 20%, then they have to invest in government securities 20 rupees. So out of every 100 rupees, they have to invest 20 rupees in government or government approved securities if SLR is 20%. So according to SLR changed by Reserve Bank of India according to monetary policy. So NBFC which accept deposit have to follow these norms. like a bank. CRAR, it is a capital adequacy ratio, which is compulsory for the bank to maintain. 8% is the standard, means the risk weighted asset to the basic capital should be 8%. So this is the capital adequacy ratio given by Basel Committee. That is, it is an international body of Bank for International Settlement, who have given the Basel norms to strengthen the banking system. So NBFCs which accept these accept deposit have to maintain these capital adequacy norms that are applicable to bank also. Now look at types of NBFCs other than RBI regulators. So the different NBFCs regulated by different regulatory authorities. Merchant banking companies which are regulated by Security and Exchange Board of India. Merchant banks who provide the services to corporate world to issue new shares, that is IPO, and the process of IPO. So merchant banks are playing their role in the capital market. So the SEBI is the Security and Exchange Board of India, is the regulator of capital markets. So merchant banking companies are regulated by Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI. Mutual funds which are regulated by Security and Exchange Board of India, again mutual funds come under capital market. So mutual funds also governed by, mutual fund companies also governed by SEBI. Venture capital companies which are regulated by Security and Exchange Board of India, again venture capital also come under the capital market because it is for long term fund. So venture capital companies are also governed by Security and Exchange Board of India. Companies that run collective investment schemes which are regulated by, again SEBI. Companies which run collective investment schemes, so these come under the capital market, so SEBI governed it. Cheat fund companies which are regulated by the respective state government. So where it is cheat fund company, wherever it is, the respective state government of that state regulate the cheat fund companies. Then Nidhi companies which are regulated by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, that is MCA. There are certain entities which are not in which are involved in the business of financial activities but do not require to obtain a registration with RBI, as these entities are regulated by the other financial sector regulators, so they do not need either of the NBFC's registration or the NBFC regulation of RBI. For example, insurance companies which are regulated by Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, that is IRDA. So all the insurance companies which are NBFCs, they have to register with these Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, that is IRDA. Then if there is a housing finance company which are regulated by National Housing Bank, then stock broking companies which are regulated by SEBI, we have discussed already. In this latest budget, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman have announced the strengthening regulatory authority of RBI or NBFCs. The government will strengthen regulatory authority, that is Reserve Bank of India or non-banking financial companies. So non-banking financial companies, the RBI will get more powers or regulatory powers over these NBFCs. Then for purchase of high rated pooled asset of financially sound NBFCs totaling rupees 1 lakh crore during the current financial year, the government will provide one time 6 months partial credit guarantee to public sector banks for first loss of up to 10%. So to purchase a high rated pooled asset of NBFCs, government will provide finance. Appropriate proposal for strengthening the regulatory authority like RBI or NBFCs had placed in the finance bill of the latest finance bill, that is budget. So government have planned to strengthen RBI again to control these NBFC, regulate these NBFCs. So friend, that much in this today's lecture. Thank you for listening. Write your attendance in the comment box. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.